What's going on, everybody? Colin here with CH Sports, bringing you guys some commentary from the 2021 Odus Spring Open, held at Delphi Disc Golf Course in Olympia, Washington. Shout out to John Anderson for holding this tournament and having me out there. As always, our coverage sponsors are Flight Towel, Upper Park Disc Golf, and Resistance Discs. Today on our card, we'll have Kyle Crabtree, sponsored by Discraft, Dion Arlyn, also sponsored by Discraft, James Proctor, sponsored by Innova, as well as Chris Holden. This is hole 1. It is a par 3, 410 feet. There's OB on the right side, marked by those white posts that you're seeing. There's also an OB line on the left side, marked by those white posts as well. We're coming in on the green here, and the play here is either a roller out and around the left side, or you can throw just a flip up hyzer down the right side, or you can throw a mash of a forehand down the left side as well. A few different options coming into this green. There is a slight elevation change down into the green, and we're playing on mock X's today. Here's Dion Arlyn from Steilacoom, Washington. He's going for the backhand roller play. The goal is to try and get this down the left side and then have it curl in at the very end, and that looks just about picture perfect. Here's James Proctor, originally out of California, but is now playing out of Seattle, Washington. I'm super excited to be able to film him. I've filmed him a couple times already this year, and I'm very excited to get to do it again. That also looks like a pretty good shot. Should be inside of circle 2. Chris Holden, this was my first opportunity to get to film him. Very interesting form. He's also going for that backhand roller play. This looks to be cutting out just a bit early. Should be safe from that OB though. And now we got Kyle Crabtree. He's going to be going for the flex play up the middle. This looks to be turning out a little bit early. Kyle is absolutely one of the best players in Washington and has been for a long time. If you haven't gotten to watch him play, it was an absolute pleasure to get out and film him again. Chris giving this a good bid. Not quite enough juice. Now here's Kyle giving it a high floaty bid. Hits the tree, but should have a tap-in par. Par played as a pretty good score on this hole. I believe it averaged just over par. James giving it a good bid from about 50. And now we step up to Dion. This is absolutely picture perfect. This is about as good as you can do it, really. Has about 15 feet, cleans up his birdie. And that was one of only a few birdies, I believe, for the round. So, huge bonus birdie there. Chris going to take his time, clean up his par putt here. And he is able to do that. And now we just got some par cleanups. So after hole 1, we got 3 pars and 1 birdie. Dion will take an early lead on the card. Stepping into hole 2, it's kind of an awkward shot. You either got a big high forehand hyzer. Again, we have OB on the right and left. The OB on the right is again marked by those white posts. And then the OB on the left side is marked by that path that you can see there. Slight change in elevation. We're going uphill. You can either go, like I said, that kind of high stalled out forehand or the big backhand turnover. We'll see the forehand here from Dion, and you'll be able to see the basket just barely through the trees here. That looks to be pretty good. James going for the big high turnover play. I believe he's throwing a rock. And that also looks to be pretty good. Chris Holden going for the same play. He doesn't like it. Flexed out a little early on him. Might have got some cabbage as well, and he'll fall down in the middle of the fairway. Should be an easy par save from there. Kyle also going for the big high turnover backhand. Yeah, that looks money. Absolutely perfect shot out of Kyle Crabtree right there. Chris going to have 80 feet. Uphill, tries to give it a bid. Fades out just a bit early. And now here's James from about 25 feet.
Really?
Man, that got a lot of chain to not go in. And you can hear him say that to Dion, that, man, he thought that was in, but that's how it goes. And now we got Chris Holden trying to clean up his par. Very nice. Chris has a very unique style, as you can tell already through these first couple of holes. But very effective, as you can tell by his rating. He's over 1,000 rated, so one of the young and up-and-comers here in the Washington area. Dion stripes another one. He'll go 2 down through 2. Absolutely ideal start. And Kyle Crabtree, after that beauty of a drive, has just a tap-in 2. As James taps out his 3. We'll move on to hole 3. Dion picks up another birdie, as well as Kyle there. And then James and Chris picking up the pars there. And now we step into hole 3. You got a big wide open fairway. Really the only things to navigate here are the 2 bunkers that you see there, as well as the golf green. There is a Mando down on the left, but it's not really going to affect these players because they throw too far. Here we go, coming up into the green. 560 par 4. The first shot is really just getting something down there as far as you can, either over the green or lay up just short of it. Dion going to go for a big, huge Anheuser flex to try and get over the green. And this looks absolutely picture perfect. That gets over the bunker, and now he's only going to have about 120 feet into the basket from there. Kyle taking this play that I didn't even think about, just trying to pitch through the corner. And now he's even going to have an eagle putt, an eagle look from there. So definitely going to think about that next time I'm out there. Here's James going for a similar play to what Dion did with a little less height. And very similar result. And Chris.
Get off of that green. Don't go on it.
Yeah, this is heading for the green, and it actually scoots OB, unfortunately. So now he's going to have some work to do to save his par. He's going for the big Annie around the outside. Hits nothing. You should have an inside the circle putt to save his par. Dion pitching up. Not as close as he's going to want it, but we'll still have an inside the circle putt to save his birdie there. James and Dion in absolutely ideal position here. James looking like he's just going to pitch this under the basket for an easy 3. He'll get his round started with a birdie on hole 3. And Kyle can kind of give this a bid for eagle. Nothing really behind the basket. Gives it a nice floaty bid, but he'll have a tap in 3. Chris ran it a little bit by. He'll have about 25 feet coming back for par. Yeah, and he's able to stripe that one in there. Chris has had a few testers already early in this round, and he's able to put all of them in so far, so hopefully you can keep that rhythm going. Here's Dion now. Probably about 25 feet for a birdie. This to go perfect through 3. I believe he's putting with the Page Pierce Fierce here. And just a little low. Yeah, you can hear him say it on the way up to the basket. That was an easy up and down, and he's frustrated that he's not able to get a 3 from there. And then we'll have James and Kyle tap in for easy 3s on hole 3. So that leaves our players with 2 3s and then 2 4s. We got 2 players at 2 down, James at 1 down, and Chris still sitting at even. Stepping up to hole 4. I heard from a couple of the locals that they have moved this basket back recently, and it's 370. There's an out-of-bounds road there on the right, and then there's no OB left, but there is that OB pond short. It is 370, but it's uphill, playing probably closer to 400 feet. Kyle starts this on line, but it turns off of it. And we'll see here in a minute, but no OB graphic, so it stayed in bounds. The path itself is actually in bounds, but anything over the path is what is OB. Now we got James. Again, starts it online, but throws it with just a touch too much hyzer. It'll fade out early. He'll have a long birdie putt if he wants it. Running it right at OB. We'll see what he does there. And Dion ripping on something. Slightly turned over. Oh, and it just barely stays OB. And unfortunately for Dion, he didn't know that he threw that OB, actually. He thought the right side of the path was still in bounds. Apparently, they've changed a few of the rules since Dion has been out here. This hole has changed a little bit. And then this. Oh, so I guess the path is actually OB. Yeah, that's what it was. Yep. The whole path is OB as well as over it. Kyle just barely kicked back inbounds off of that tree. And Chris will unfortunately stay OB. Chris giving this a bid. Another good bid from Chris. The putter's working early. That's something that he can be proud of, even though he's going to be 1 over par through 4 holes. Dion trying to save his par. Just a little high. That'll be his first bogey of the round. And James from about 60 feet. Content with just laying it up for a par. And we got it surrounded. Everybody about 3 or 4 feet for tap-ins here. All for different scores. We got a bogey there from Chris. This will be a bogey here from Dion Arlyn. And then Kyle and James will be tapping in for pars. Kyle very fortunate to stay in bounds there. And then we'll have James step up and take his par as well. So we're through 4 holes. We got 1 guy at 2 down, Dion and James sitting at 1 down, and Chris Holden sitting at 1 over par. We'll kick it off to a couple of our sponsors. huge shout out to all of our sponsors there. Go check out the description to see how you can support them as well as myself. Stepping up to hole 5. Downhill, OB left in that pond, OB into the sand bunker as well as that golf green. The hole, as the crow flies, is 460, probably playing closer to about 420 or 430. 2 plays here. You can either lay up short of the green, or you can do what Kyle's doing here and go for it all and go for the green. Just barely gets over the bunker there, but is safe. He'll have kind of an obstructed look there for 2, but he will have a look for 2 nonetheless. James starts this out on a good angle, and it just barely turns over on him. Can't really see that finish there, but it did skip off the golf green inbounds, and he'll have a look for 2. Here's Dion looking to recover from that bogey. Going for that big high anti-flex again, similar to the shot that he threw on hole 3, and this looks picture perfect. What a great shot there from Dion Arlyn. He'll have about 25 feet there for birdie. And now Chris Holden looking to find some vapor trails there from Dion. Skips it off the green and does scoot it up there to a putt. So all 4 guys on the card will have a putt for birdie. Kyle again has that obstructed look. And this is James. I did miss it going in the basket, but there it is. Dead center chains, able to grab a 2 here. Super bonus 2. Now here's Chris to try and keep pace with James. And Chris able to stripe another one. He's been dead solid on the green so far. And that'll get him back to even par. And Dion gonna have the best look at birdie here from the bunch. Let's see what he can do with it. Yeah, leaves it just left. But he will tap in his par. We got 2 guys taking a 3, 2 guys taking the birdie there. And we'll step up to hole 6. Hole 6, probably one of the harder shots to execute on the front 9. You either got this big high turnover, or if you have a 450 sidearm, that's another play on this hole. OB on the golf green. That path right is actually inbounds as well as everything over it. There is an OB line eventually on that right side. And then obviously OB pond short. And this is a great angle if it was higher in the air. That path that you see short there is also inbounds. And there you can see the basket. It's a really tough shot to execute. You got to get the height right, the angle right, and the speed right. Let's see what Chris can do with it here. Starts it on a good turnover. This could get all the way back to the basket. And yeah, that'll put him in range. He's probably got about 45 feet up the hill. Let's see if he can cash another one. Here's Kyle. Also going to the backhand turnover. Starts it on a good angle. It's just flexing out a bit early. Don't do it. Oh, it skipped all the way up onto the green. That'll be OB for Kyle. He'll have about 80 feet to try and save his par. Let's see what Dion can do. Going super high, super turned over. Going for the roller play. This is cutting up the hill nicely. Yeah, he'll have a similar look to what Chris Holden does. Let's see what these guys can do on the green. James looks like he's just pitching up for a par there. Kyle eyeing this down. Just off the rim. Kyle giving that a good bid to save his par. Unfortunately, going to have to tap out for a bogey. Dion, good bid up the hill. Don't roll too far. Oh, boy. Rolls back out to probably about 25 feet. He'll have a tester to save his par. Let's see if Chris can hit another one. Oh, yeah. Chris on fire on the green so far. And that'll get him to under par. So even though he's on fire on the greens, a few of those putts that he's hit have been for par. So even though it feels like he's been just absolutely lighting it up, he's actually just 1 under par. But now he's got some momentum going into the scoreable stretch of the course. Dion knows that scoreable stretch is coming. If he can just scrap out a par here. There we go. Good rhythm, good tempo. Able to make that putt. And now you can hear it. The rain is starting to come in. That's the Northwest for you. You never know when that stuff's going to come. And it looks like we should just have a couple of tap-ins here. Kyle's is going to be for bogey, and then James is going to be for par. There you go. Kyle able to tap in his bogey. James should come along to tap in his par. And we'll move on to hole 7. 1 birdie, 2 pars, and a bogey. The card all around the same score. 3 of the guys at 1 down, and James sitting at 2 as we move into hole 7. Hole 7, very scoreable par 4. 490, really no OB to speak of except for the left side. But really the only way a shot gets there is if you miss the target anyway. 2 shots here are a big high flex with a backhand or the righty backhand roller. Let's see what these guys do here. Really, the main objective of this hole is forward progress. Doesn't really matter how you get it here. Chris gonna go to the roller, it looks like. Nope, sorry, just a big high air shot. Yeah, that'll do just fine. This is one that you can definitely attack for a 2. Some of these guys have a big enough arm to try and do that. James puts a good hurting on this one. What a poor disc. Gets that thing to turn over the whole way. Should be an easy 3 if nothing else. And Dion putting a hurting on this disc. That looks like it could scoot up there for a putt. Dion certainly has the power to get it all the way back there. And Kyle, he'll go for the backhand roller. Yeah, also a great play. None of these guys in trouble of picking up a big number here until that happened. Kyle, errant on the upshot. Second shot from Chris. Lays it up there for an easy 3. James probably looking to do the same here. And Kyle now going to have to settle for a 4 unless he wants to run this. Gives it enough height. Not quite enough speed. He will tap in for a 4. And this is where Dion ended up. This would be a super bonus 2 to grab on the field. Doesn't quite get it to go. Gave it a good bid. Kyle will tap in his par. And everybody else should just be tapping in birdies here. Chris able to get his 3. This one definitely played in between a par 3 and a par 4. Maybe for the amateur arm, this is closer to a par 4, but for these guys, pretty easy, pretty scoreable par 3. Kyle's definitely upset that he's taking a par here while everybody else on the card is going to grab a birdie. Kind of a tricky little putt here. Dion able to make it work. 3 guys doing what they're supposed to on that hole, taking the birdie. Kyle taking the unfortunate 4 there. Now we got a good mix of scores. James at 3, leading the card. 2 guys at 2 down, and Kyle trailing just a little bit at 1 down. Stepping up to hole 8. Again, this is the scoreable stretch of the course. 330 par 3. No real OB to speak of unless you do somehow get over that fence on the left. 2 plays here. You got the hyzer flip up the middle play, or you can go the big wide hyzer, which I'm sure these guys will be going to since they have plenty of power. And we'll have Chris step up here. Yep, going for that big wide hyzer I spoke of. If this gets some skip, yeah, it scoots into Chris Holden range. Should have about 40 feet for birdie there. Let's see what play James goes to. Looked like he was kind of stuck in between. Looked like he was lining up the big wide hyzer, but just scooted it inside the tree. And it actually scoots up there to a pretty decent look. Dion going for the big wide hyzer. Looks sawed off just a touch, but it should be pretty easy wide open look for him. About 25 feet or so. And Crabtree just going to pipe it up the middle. Just a slight bit too much turn. Hold it out to the right side. He'll have a long bid for 2. Kyle going to give it that floaty bid. Ooh, just off to the left. Good bid there from Kyle. Now we got Chris Holden stepping up in Chris Holden range, and he is just on fire on the greens. Knocks in another one. Here's James now from about 25 feet. Able to convert. Kyle scooted out to a bit of a tester, but Kyle's a great putter. He should be able to make this work for him. And there it is. Kyle able to tap in his par. Doing what legends do. He's an absolute legend of the sport, especially here in the Washington area. And Dion Arlyn going to have about 15 feet there for birdie. And he will convert. So we'll have 3 of our card mates taking the birdie there. Dion getting himself to 3 down there with Chris. James Proctor still leading the card at 4 down. Kyle Crabtree coming up the rear with 1 down. Stepping up to our final hole of the front 9. Definitely the easiest hole that we've seen so far. It's a par 3, 245 feet. Really the only difficulty of the hole is this OB green, just short of the basket. But other than that, these guys are going to be throwing either forehand hyzer or backhand hyzer. Pick one that goes 240 feet and put it under the basket. That is the game plan for these guys on this hole. Chris looks like he's going to a slow disc, maybe a putter there. Yeah, skips it up there probably about 20, 25 feet.
Weird on the walk up there.
James looking to do something similar. Starts it nice and wide, picks an overstable disc. And that'll skip just left of the basket. Should be a nice wide open putt for him. Dion going to a classic play of his, the drone here for a forehand. And that'll skip up there nicely. Crabtree looking to follow some vapor trails here on the backhand line. And asking for it to sit, but it does sit in time. Everybody should have open looks. James skipped out a little bit more than it looked like on camera. Gonna have a tester putt to save his birdie here. And stripes it dead center. James Proctor, when he gets the putter going, look out. And now everybody else going to be pretty close. Dion the farthest away at about 18 feet or so. just off to the left side. Dion going to be frustrated with that miss, but he's got some holes coming up that he can take advantage of with his power. We'll see what he can do on the back nine to recover from that. Chris steps up to about 15 feet. Should be pretty routine for him. And there we go, taps in his birdie. Chris, after a little bit of a slow start, able to string some birdies together and really put together a pretty decent front nine. And Kyle with an absolute park job will also take his two. And here we go, after the front nine, we got James sitting at 5 down, leading the card. We got Chris able to get himself to 4 down. Dion Arlyn at 3 down after taking the 3 there. And Kyle Crabtree able to get himself a couple strokes under the par after the front nine. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for tuning in to this coverage. The back nine should be coming out very shortly, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to hit subscribe. Go check us out on our social media as well. And we'll see you guys in the back nine. Thanks for checking out this coverage. Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.